Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our Ask the Experts, rounding out our September.
Good afternoon. My name is Sue Weldon. I'm the founder and CEO of Unite for Her, and I'm here with my colleague, Erin Pelgrin, who is our
Yeah.
Senior Director of all of our education and nutrition. Hi, Erin.
Hi. So glad to be here. I love our partnership segment, so I'm excited to jump into
Yeah.
this today.
Yeah, we really learned a lot too. So many new programs, and it's always great to be able to get those new education programs out to our community.
Yeah, I don't think there can ever be enough support of varying types for this community. So just being able to learn and share and bring knowledge to what's out there and what's coming, really excited. So I'm looking forward to this discussion today.
Yeah. All right. Just a couple of reminders, right? So we are live on Facebook. Please ask us questions. Be a part of the conversation. We love that. Put it right in the chat. We have someone who's watching, and we will answer them in live time. If for chance we can't get to all your questions, we always go back to our expert and they answer them, and then we post them right on our live Education Connect series page. So know that you can watch for that. If for chance you wanted to go back, you certainly can use it as a resource. And then, of course, as many questions as we can get in, we already have some, Erin, that have come through, so we'll get right started. But we can't do what we do without our sponsors. We are so grateful for all that they do to allow Unite for Her Connect to expand in the way it has. So a beautiful shout out to our presenting sponsors, West, Merck, Lilly, Gilead, and Novartis. And then we have support as well from our gold sponsors, Pfizer, GSK, Daiichi Sankyo. And then our supporting sponsors are AbbVie, TerraSera Therapeutics, and Veristem Oncology. So thank you for all of your support. We are rounding well over 60 of these events a year, and we have some incredible speakers that we're able to bring on because of their investment in Unite for Her Connect.
Absolutely. And I will say, just jumping into what Sue said about questions for our expert today, but certainly if you are involved with OCRA, who is our partnership focus today, the Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance. So if you have connected with them, if you've benefited from their services, share your experience in the chat, share how they have been helpful to you. We love being able to inspire and motivate others. So like I said, definitely engage with us. We want to hear all about how that has been a really positive experience for all of you.
Yeah, they're such a wonderful referral partner, Erin. So it's just so good to be able to focus on all of the programming that they have. They've actually had a lot of growth over the past 6 months. So Sarah's going to go through all of that with us. But she also shared that it's not just ovarian cancer that they serve. They do all the gynecological cancers and focusing on endometrial as well, which we know has had some difficult outcomes. So it was really good to hear all of the expansion that they have had in this space as well.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
so, although we're rounding out today, I know we have a lot to look forward to, Sue. I know you're going to be sharing a little bit. Just that first week of October, I think, is an indication for everything we have coming up the rest of the month. So, why don't you share a little bit about what we have to look forward to?
You got it. You got it. So on October the 6th at 6 o'clock, we have our speaker series, The Choice to Stay Flat, Medical Insights and Patient Perspectives After Breast Cancer with Dr. Susanna Nazarian, Dr. Sabita Pilia Friedman, Donna Donifrey of Anna Ono. They're all partners of ours. And then we have one of our Unite for Our members to share her patient experience as well, Stacy Kahn. So this is such a good topic. I personally stayed flat for 4.5 years. So I definitely understand that push-pull and just the decision making is so personal. So we look forward to diving into this topic with our community. And then on October the 8th at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, our virtual hangout is Keeping Your Crown, Hair Preservation Strategies During Chemotherapy, Cancer Treatment with Karen Buck of Paxman Scalp Cooling, and Gina Arcuri from Cold Capping Partners of America. So we'll be having them on as our guests. We get a lot of questions about this, Erin, all the different nuances that are involved, and they continue to really expand and grow and have new technology. So I'm looking forward to hearing what is new in the space as well. Of course,
Absolutely.
all of our segments are on Unite for Her Connect. You'll see that in the chat. I know Rachel, who's on with us, will put that that in there, and you can register and view all of these education segments at uniteforher.org/UFH Connect. So please feel free to go there and do a little search as well. We have quite a library. You'll be able to find all different types of topics, and you know that there are very good vetted professionals that are leading those topics for you. And that is what our promise is and what we can bring you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So lots to look forward to, great discussions to be had. But before we get there, let's think about what we have coming to you for today. So, we host these partnership segments quarterly. We love to highlight the work of our other advocacy partners in this space, nonprofit partners that do the work to also support this community. So, today it is our pleasure to be joined by an expert with OCRA. So, let me share a little bit about who we have joining us for our discussion today. So, we'll be joined by Sarah Handsman. Sarah is the Director of Patient Support at OCRA, Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance, and is a board certified oncology social worker. She joined OCRA in April 2023 as a passionate clinician and fervent advocate for anyone impacted with cancer. She's closely involved in all of the areas of OCRA's support and education programming. And as Sue mentioned, we learned they've added and expanded quite a bit. This includes programming like Woman to Woman Peer Mentor Program, their Staying Connected support series, their patient support line, STEPS one-on-one counseling program, and their one-on-one workshops, plus so much more. Prior to joining OCRA, Sarah spent several years working as an oncology social worker with the Mount Sinai Health System in New York. She obtained her master's degree in social work in 2018 and her Bachelor of Science in Applied Psychology from NYU's Steinhardt School in 2014. And she was awarded the American Cancer Society's training grant in clinical oncology social work, is a proud fellow of the Zelda Foster Fellowship in Palliative Care and End-of-Life Care. So much experience, so much knowledge. So we are so grateful. Please join me in welcoming our expert today, Sarah Handsman. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you to you both and to Unite for Her for this amazing opportunity. We're only stronger together. So we similarly love these partnerships and collaborating with other organizations that are have the same mission and vision that we do. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
You are welcome, Sarah. All right, let's dive in. Okay,
Absolutely.
So Sarah, why don't you tell me? I love all of these different new groups that you have and support groups. So why don't we get started with the Women to Women
Sure.
Peer Mentor Program and how that you ensure that they have the best match?
Yeah, so the Woman to Woman program is honestly probably one of my favorite parts of my role. It's it's just a really valuable opportunity to just get that sort of one-on-one support and guidance from somebody who's been there, which you can someone can have all the support in the world from family and friends, but there's really just you can't replace that piece of somebody who has actually been in your shoes. And we a trademark of the program is that we really tailor these matches to be as closely as possible. So we really put a great deal of thought into that. And so the way we go about that is we conduct a formal assessment with all new mentees who are seeking a mentor match, and just to kind of get to know them, hear their story, and determine their primary needs, concerns, and goals for mentorship. And we'll always encourage them to share which matching criteria is most important to them. Some of the most common ones being, of course, diagnosis, staging, treatment history, age or life stage. But it might also include things like, marital status or family composition, sexual orientation, religious affiliation or similar sort of faith background, professional backgrounds, shared hobbies. Honestly, the list goes on.
Wow.
But the main takeaway being that we always allow the mentee to be the driver of what they're looking for and what would be most beneficial to them.
Well,
That's an
I'm sure you've gotten so much feedback. Can you share a little bit about the feedback from your participants about this kind of impact?
Yeah, I mean, we receive such positive feedback, all the time. I think, I mean, cancer in general, but particularly, I think gynecologic cancers, it can be just such an isolating experience.
Mhm.
And to just, have someone to, even just the sheer knowledge of knowing that, okay, this person has gone through what I'm going through now, and they've made it out the other side and are still, living a fulfilling life is, just the knowledge that that is their experience, even before you kind of get into the actual relationship is just tremendously valuable in terms of just providing a sense of hope,
Yeah.
and that's so important to us. And one of the most special things really is when which happens pretty often is when we have uh, people who started out as mentees who then once they kind of get further down the line, they're a little bit farther removed from treatment, or have gotten kind of to a place of finding their new normal, to then kind of circle back around and become mentors to sort of keep that sort of full circle, which is just always really special and rewarding to see.
Yeah. And I'm sure they benefit just as much too, being that mentor.
Yep, and that's another thing that we hear is, so many of our mentors will tell us that, I joined this program because I wanted to give support to someone. I wanted to be there, but that, I wanted to give someone, what I wish I had at the time that I didn't, but that they end up saying, I feel like I get just as much out of it as my mentee does. So, what we have currently, we have so since the inception of our national team of mentors, we've had 167 mentors total, and today we have about 130 that are currently active.
Okay.
And we're always looking to keep growing our mentor team to have as much of a diverse array of backgrounds as possible. So if anyone ever is interested in becoming a mentor, we'd always love to to have you on the team. So
Great.
don't be shy.
Great.
Wonderful. And I'm sure we'll be popping that link in. So if this is really speaking to anyone that likes to either participate or take that mentor role, we'll be sure to share that so our viewers can learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Now, jumping in also, like we said early on, you have so many different types of support programs. So I also know you have that STEPS one-on-one counseling
Hmm.
program. How does that differ from the woman to woman?
Yeah.
And what type of support does that offer for your participants?
Yeah, that's a great question. So both of these programs, Woman to Woman and STEPS counseling, are both, avenues of one-on-one support. But the main distinction being, while a mentor is someone who they're a survivor of a gynecologic cancer, and they've been in the mentee's shoes. In the STEPS counseling program, you'd be matched with a counselor who all of whom are licensed oncology social workers. So they would be, kind of coming from more of a clinical approach, as opposed to, a peer support approach. And so this is a program that provides short-term targeted oncology focused counseling to those diagnosed with any kind of gynecologic cancer. And participants are entitled to receive up to 10 free counseling sessions over a 6-month period.
Wow.
And sessions can take place by phone or video call per your preference. And yeah, and I should mention all these programs, people can join one of them or all of them. So you can have your STEPS counselor, you can have your woman to woman mentor, and then you can also be involved in any of our other programs. So
Oh,
it's
good. I'd
we
love to
like to
hear.
have options, so that there's something for
Yeah.
everyone.
I know you had talked so much about the collaboration. I love just hearing that because when we partner, then they get that much more that they can get access
Yep.
to,
Yeah.
right? On top of,
Exactly.
they do your 10 sessions, and when they're up, they can go over to our sessions if they
Yeah.
need to. So that way they're always just being able to get them the longest amount of care possible,
Absolutely.
for their program or
Yeah.
for their stage. So the Staying Connected
Mhm.
program and the support sessions, are they open to your caregivers and the loved ones as well as the patients?
Yep, absolutely. And actually, I just to back up a little bit, I should mention when we were talking about the peer mentorship program, we just recently, about in the last 2 years, I believe, we launched a loved ones branch of that program as well. So now
Wow.
family members and friends
Great.
of patients can also receive that support from someone who is, you know, is either a current active caregiver, or we also can cater to those who are bereaved. So, so just wanted to mention that with Women's
Yeah.
Woman, but then to, get back to your last question about staying connected. Yes, we do offer programming for both patients and survivors and loved ones through staying connected. So we offer a variety of virtual support sessions and community building activities through staying connected, including weekly groups for new diagnosis, living well after recurrence. We've got a group for endometrial and uterine cancer. And then we also have a weekly loved ones group, as well as a monthly young adults group and a bi-monthly cancer and Espanol group for those who are Spanish speaking.
Great.
Amazing.
I feel like I want to make sure you're sharing, despite the name ovarian cancer. Go ahead, Sarah. You treat all gynecological
Yes,
cancer.
that's right.
All of these
We serve any,
tumors,
yep,
right?
any gynecologic cancers. So, of course, ovarian, of course, but endometrial, uterine, primary peritoneal, vulvar, vaginal, cervical,
This
all
is
of
where
it.
the matching would come in. That would be
Yep,
just so valuable for them.
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
also through staying connected, one other thing to mention is, in addition to the support sessions, we also have monthly community building activities through our monthly book club and our an Express Yourself program, which is an expressive arts program for patients. So, and if you register for either program, we will ship the book of the month to you at no cost for book club, or if it's the Express Yourself program, we'll send you the supplies for that for this month's crafting project, and then we get together to do so over Zoom.
Yeah, I love that, Erin. So
I love that. So comprehensive.
yeah, and it allows people to stay engaged, right? Because you're trying to think of creative ways to keep the engagement up. And
Yeah,
sometimes Zoom is tough because people get tired, right? Of
yeah,
Zoom, they want that one-on-one. So the fact that
yeah.
they get something in the mail from you,
Hmm.
really beautiful, Sarah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Always something to look forward to. So
Yeah.
we talked about the one-on-one support. You've got your support groups, but you also offer some roundtable
Hmm.
sessions and some gatherings. So what role does that play in terms of the programming that you offer, and how can community members get involved with that as well?
Yep. So, so on the educational side of things, we have our monthly roundtables, which are 90-minute sessions that are designed to empower you with knowledge while offering validation and support around, various concerns that you may be facing related to diagnosis. So compared to our staying connected sessions, which tend to be more, kind of open forum and driven by, those in attendance, our roundtables are more structured and are delivered through a psychoeducational approach, though they're still very, very much interactive. So each month is centered around a new topic, which are all directly inspired by feedback we receive from our community. So previous roundtables have focused on cancer-related cognitive impairment, or chemo brain, also known as,
Mhm.
advocating for your healthcare needs, survivorship challenges, and so on. And our next one will be taking place on Wednesday, October 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and that one will be focusing on spiritual health.
Great.
Oh, so good. And may I ask, are these types of roundtables recorded? So if there's a topic, perhaps one that you mentioned just now, something that really piques someone interest, they're able to go back and sort of listen to that discussion, or is this sort of a closed
Mhm.
gathering?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, because of the interactive nature of the roundtables, and because people, are on video and maybe asking questions that are directly related to their experience, we
Yeah.
don't record them for privacy reasons. However, we do also offer periodic webinars, which are recorded and accessible, as well as all of our conference presentations. We also always have recorded and available for viewing as well. So there may be some, kind of similar topics that are, that are focused on in the webinars and conference presentations, similar to roundtables, but just, without the privacy piece.
Perfect. Yeah, and we understand that for sure. Certainly keeping that top of mind. And I'm glad you mentioned sort of that education piece because I think that leads us into learning a little bit more about that education aspect of your programming that you offer.
Mhm.
I know you do several one-on-one workshops. So how do you sort of lean in and decide, is that really audience driven in terms of the
Yeah.
topics that you cover relative to the community you serve?
Yep. So our 101 educational workshops are so these are workshops that are all they're part of a four-part series. So for instance, we the first one that we launched was our ovarian cancer 101 workshop. So it takes place it's 4 1-hour sessions across 4 consecutive weeks. And they're really intended to provide basic foundational education, helping you to become your own best advocate while reducing feelings of overwhelm. And so these are the 101 workshops, like our ovarian cancer 101, plus our upcoming endometrial and uterine cancer 101. They're led jointly by an oncology social worker and our staff scientist. She's our senior director of treatment access and scientific education. And so that way we can really kind of offer a balanced approach in terms of, the, I guess, the psycho education of psychoeducation.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
and so those are, very, very structured, but with opportunity to ask questions in real time, um, focusing on, initial diagnosis, genetic and biomarker testing, treatment overview, and clinical trial navigation. And then we are also soon launching a new one, which is our survivorship workshop. So that'll be centered around, managing late effects of treatment, long-term wellness, and just kind of moving forward after the experience of diagnosis and treatment.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's really kind of like I said, basic foundational education, really intended to be more of kind of a refresher of what you should have already learned from your team, but that we know that in those early days when all this information is coming at you, it's such a whirlwind and it's hard to really digest any of that in real time. So that's why we kind of have this as basically to serve as a refresher for that.
That's great. And then you have
Yeah.
these staying current sessions.
Hmm.
I'm thinking they're different than your one-on-one workshops.
Yeah.
Do they need to have a lot of scientific background to attend? Like, are they going to feel lost at all when they're attending these sessions? Or,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, so staying current is sort of it's intended to be a more advanced level of education. So whereas the 101 workshops are more, foundational, this is, it is a higher level. It does, kind of delve into the hard science, behind treatment mechanisms and
yeah,
what's the latest in the treatment landscape. There's no you know, formal education required to attend. We recognize that, some of it may be, everyone's going to have a different level
well,
of
right.
understanding and education coming into it. But they are led by our senior director of treatment access and scientific education, Anna Metabule. She's a PhD scientist, and she is really an expert in the world of clinical trials. And she's also really good at kind of breaking them down in a way that is digestible and user friendly. And they also have opportunities to both submit questions in advance and also Q&A in real time as well, if anything is unclear. But it is a good sort of step up from after someone completes one-on-one workshops. Not that that's a required prerequisite or anything, but it's kind of
Right.
if you're ready to kind of boost your learning after getting that foundation, then
And I'm sure
staying
they
current's
walk
a
away
great
with
option.
something. And I
Yeah.
know even with our community, they want the science. They want
Yeah.
they
Yes.
want to
Yeah.
understand this is really meaningful for them. And then they feel
Yeah.
empowered when they can understand, the
Yeah.
different breakthroughs that are happening and
Yeah.
clinical trials that are out there.
Exactly. And right as of right now, we are currently offering 3 staying current sessions per month. We have one that is focuses on treatment for newly diagnosed ovarian cancer. one for platinum sensitive recurrent ovarian cancer, and then platinum resistant recurrent ovarian cancer. And we are hoping to down the line expand to other gyn cancers as well. But these are the three that we have available at this moment.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have a hub like on your website that makes it very easy for people to come in and just join these sessions or find them easily, a calendar?
Yeah, they everything is available on our website under our support and education tab. You'll see, each of these programs that we've discussed today are clearly listed there, and then and you can click the registration links right from our website.
Ones that you're
So,
interested
and I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but all of our programs are 100% free of charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, we encourage anyone and everyone, please join us. If there's any chance that we might be able to help you, support you in any kind of way, we would be always looking to expand our reach and grow our
Yeah, Sarah, I
community.
love how comprehensive and thoughtful all these programs are. I mean, each unique, but all can be helpful during that journey for sure, and just trying to figure out the next steps and the next breakthroughs, and trying to relate to people who are going through what you're going through, so you don't feel so isolated. Yeah, it's really good. So, you have these access to care programs, and what are the eligibility requirements for the free genetic testing? Because that is such a incredible new breakthrough that we have.
Yeah.
I know when I was tested for breast, it was 2 genes. Now there's 7, right?
Yeah.
For us to be able to really get access to this, can you tell us a little bit more about the eligibility?
Yeah. Yeah, so for our free genetic testing program, this is a really important initiative. So it offers free at-home genetic testing kits that screen for BRCA and several other mutations linked to hereditary gynecologic cancers. And it's available to those who have either a family history of hereditary cancer, or those who have a diagnosis themselves but who haven't had genetic testing. And there are no eligibility requirements in terms of like income or insurance coverage or anything like that. It's really just either, the family history or your own diagnosis. And then the only other criteria being, you have to be 18 or older and living in the US or Puerto Rico.
Okay. Is there a certain program that you deliver, the name of the program?
Yep. So, we are partnered with a biotech company called Color Health, and that is the company that actually provides and processes the kits.
Okay.
And so, and once you get your results, you'll be connected to a genetic counselor through Color Health, and then they'll be able to kind of walk you through them and kind of help you determine where to go from there.
Great.
Excellent.
That was my
I was
question.
Me
Yeah.
too, Sue. Yeah, just kind of wondering that whole sort of wraparound, like
Right.
how can patients better understand
Right.
what they're reading when those results come in. So I love that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so important to us because we know that up to 25% of ovarian cancer patients have an inherited genetic mutation that increases their risk of ovarian cancer, and so we believe that there's just nothing more important than understanding your risk, because the studies have shown that the most effective way to manage risk of gynecologic cancer is prevention whenever possible, and so this is sort of a big push towards towards that messaging, because and now that we understand that most ovarian cancer cases actually begin in the fallopian tubes rather than the actual ovaries, the studies have shown that getting an opportunistic salpingectomy, which is the removal of just the fallopian tubes, can be is the #1 way to prevent a future ovarian cancer diagnosis, and genetic testing is a big step towards that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, really interesting. I know part of the access to care programming you have, and you mentioned this loosely earlier in our discussion, but clinical trial navigators, and certainly navigators is something that at Unite for Her, Sue and I and our staff, we've talked a lot about and really advocated for the importance of having navigators.
Yeah.
So for OCRA and for the community you serve, how do these clinical trial navigators provide personalized support? How can they be of service to patients, even determining if a trial is a good fit for them?
Yeah. Absolutely. So we have our own sort of internal platform for clinical trial navigation, and which is accessible through our website, of course. And so there are a couple of options. So users can either complete an online questionnaire, which will just generate a bunch of questions just kind of related to your disease history, treatment history, if you've had any specific, side effects or complications, if you have any genetic mutations if you have tested for certain biomarkers, and then it will generate a list of clinical trials that you may qualify for. And while you can, generate your own list and kind of just review it independently, there's also an option to request a phone call with a navigator who can, kind of just do it for you on the back end and generate that list. And then we also, if you're looking for more, personalized one-on-one assistance, anyone is always welcome to reach out to our patient support line for just for more one-on-one support around clinical trials. And while we can't provide direct medical advice or, direct you on which one would be best for you, we can, provide a list of ones that
Best match.
that may work, given your current circumstances, and which you can then, consider and bring to your doctor for further discussion.
Yeah. I just think that's so good because when you even approaching a clinical trial, just the words in general,
Yeah,
and then
it's
getting started, just to get started, to know that you could just do a phone call.
right.
I think that's going to be key. And then they get more confidence that, oh, okay, I could get in here and put in
Yeah.
my,
Yeah, we
date.
find that, clinicaltrials.gov, while is obviously the number one resource on, clinical trials. All of our information comes directly from clinicaltrials.gov and is updated daily. So, we, find that clinicaltrials.gov can feel just a little bit dense and frankly
Yeah.
daunting, especially if
Yeah.
you're, not,
Yeah.
especially well versed in, medical jargon and things like that. So we just kind of do this to just try to offer more of a user-friendly experience.
Yeah. And to eliminate frustration because a lot of
Yeah.
our members start clicking around and then they get like 6 clicks in and then all of a sudden they're not qualified.
Yeah.
So they
Yep.
have a navigator there that can
Hmm.
really give them a path that they can ask the right questions. It just it just relieves all that anxiety
Yeah.
of going through enough. Yeah, it's really great. Really beautiful. How
Thank you.
often is that Find a Doctor tool updated? I think you have that
Mhm.
tool as well.
Yep, we do have a Find a Doctor tool where you can search for board certified gynecologic oncologists and
All of us.
other related specialists in your area. And
Mhm.
that list is updated on a quarterly basis, and it's all based on insurance claims data from our partners at Komodo Health. So that way, it's people are only included if they have the proper board certifications. They've have treated, a certain number of patients who have, these diagnoses, just to kind of, provide, make sure that we're providing,
Good
reputable,
reputations.
yeah,
Mhm.
reputable
Yeah.
I
contacts.
I love that. And I think even it brings me to a conversation I had recently with one of our members who wanted a second opinion. And she
Hmm.
was saying, "Do you know anyone that and I think having a tool like this
Yeah.
just for someone that's looking for a second
Yeah.
opinion, and now you've got someone else that you can look into, that you understand their credentials, they're a match for what you're seeking, and see what they say, right? But it's
Yeah.
giving you that clear path, that clear
Hmm.
direction, if that is what a person is seeking. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're always, we're always a huge proponent of second opinions. So, yeah,
Yeah.
this is a great way to go about it.
Yeah.
Well,
Wonderful.
Sarah, this was incredible. Thank you.
Thank
Really,
you.
really good
Excited
programs
to get to
and
share the information.
yeah, also very unique and thoughtful and really diving into the science and clinical trial, help, which we know is the path forward for a cure. We
Yeah,
know that. So thank you for leaning in there and developing all these new programs.
of course. Yeah, it is our, our utmost pleasure.
Yeah. In my head, I'm thinking, wow, you have been busy over there.
Yeah.
Good busy, all
know,
good busy.
oh, the
Yeah.
best kind of busy, I know.
Yeah.
So before we wrap, anything else you want to share? I know you had your big conference last week.
Mhm.
So anything you want to finish us off with in terms of what to look forward to, events coming up, anything else you want to share with the Unite for Her community and beyond?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for the opportunity. So I do want to mention one really big announcement that was just it was just announced last week during our conference. So, and that is that we will soon be debuting our Community Accelerated Research Exchange, or CARE, which is going to be a global platform powered by AI that connects patients, researchers, clinicians, and advocates to create a new force in gynecologic cancer research. And this initiative will be comprised of two components. One is the Living Lab, and then the Discovery Lab. So for the Living Lab, the best way to describe it is really just that it is your experience powering progress. So it'll feature a secure patient registry that will enable ovarian and endometrial cancer patients to consolidate their medical records and contribute to the world's largest data set for these cancers. So participants will also be able to receive, personalized educational resources, automated clinical trial matching, and just direct input into research priorities. So it's really just it's an amazing way to make meaning of your experience, and in a way that is ultimately is it should be very simple for the user. It's just a matter of connecting your records, which as this unfolds, we'll have more information about that available. Um, but and then so the other side of it, the Discovery Lab. So that's a platform that will provide researchers worldwide with unprecedented access to AI-ready data sets and collaboration tools, just democratizing research and enabling breakthrough discoveries through immediate data sharing, and
Wow.
micropublications for immediate research updates, which we expect will ultimately just transform outcomes for patients globally. So
Wow.
it's we're super excited about this. We really believe that it will make a real, just tangible and immediate difference in the research, and then as it translates to the quality of life of our patients that we serve. So
Wow.
yeah,
It's very
so
exciting.
this will all be, and this is all, it's all happening under an IRB, and will be, incredibly HIPAA secure, and, so, to remove any, kind of safety and privacy concerns. So it's going to be, very, very strictly regulated. And yeah, and if you if you're interested in updates on when the platform will officially go live, we do have a mailing list that you can sign up for on our website for updates on that.
Great.
If you
Great.
could just visit our website, ocrahope.org/registry, that'll take you right to where you can sign up for the Research Exchange mailing list.
Right. That
Perfect.
was my next question. And I'm thinking, like, you can put all of your records into this. Is it like an app, I guess, that you have access to when you put all your records in? So then
Yes.
you would have this on your phone that you can continue to add. It's almost like a little portal for yourself for your medical records.
Yeah, and it is going to be just sort of a new platform. Can't go too much in depth until it officially goes live, just
Okay.
because since it is under an IRB, all of the
Mhm.
language around it has to be kind of
Approved.
pre-approved and everything. Which is why I can't, kind of go into too much detail. But, this will be going live in the coming months, and then, we'll be able to share so much more as it unfolds.
Very
So, it'll just be really just be a way to just allow such, tremendously greater access to this data, to this population, that will really just ultimately transform patient care in a really big way.
great.
I
So good.
love that.
All
So
right,
good. Well,
Sarah.
and I'm so glad you mentioned the security aspect of it. But when we think about AI and how scary it is, I think what you're demonstrating is how effective and useful it can
Yeah.
be in a scenario like this, and how it can
Hmm.
really add to strides and discovery and really moving the needle forward. So I love that you are leaving us all sitting on the edge of our seats as we wait for some updates in the coming months, but this is really excited to hear.
Yep. So,
Yeah.
hopefully the best possible cliffhanger.
That's right.
Right.
Even the timing alone, you know how long clinical trials take, like timing
Yeah.
alone to do all that research, AI is going to be able to really
It's
take
going to
that
really
down.
speed things up, and yeah,
Yes,
and this will
we
really
are
allow for
excited
more
about that.
immediate
Yeah,
results and data access. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, so good. Well, Sarah, thank you. What a great informative. I love these sessions too, Erin. I feel like when we always have our partners on, you're our partners, and here we didn't know all of this new initiatives that you've been doing, but that's because you've been so busy working heads down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love to
well,
know more.
we so appreciate the opportunity to spread the
Mhm.
word,
Yeah,
and so appreciate the collaboration, and hopefully, we can, kind of, further reach each other's communities that maybe
exactly.
haven't,
Yeah,
that
definitely.
we maybe haven't, each touched yet. So,
No, totally agree.
yeah, and our patient support team is, we are, so ready, willing, and able to answer any questions, offer support, really anything that we can do to help you navigate this, extremely challenging, complicated, overwhelming experience. We are, willing and equipped to do. So,
Yeah,
please
amazing.
feel free to reach out to our team anytime. And yeah, we, look forward to speaking with hopefully many of you soon.
Yeah.
Sarah, can you tell me, is your conference that you just had, is that also available online if people missed it, that they can go in and?
Yep. So in about 1 month, all of the recordings will be transferred to our YouTube channel.
Great,
So
perfect.
yeah, so by
By
middle to late
topic, you could actually.
October, yeah, they'll be able to access everything. And yeah, that'll just, you could just go youtube.com/OCRA Hope, HOPE,
Great,
Great.
which is
great.
also our website.
All right, beautiful. Well, Sarah, thank you.
Love this.
Thanks for spending the afternoon with us.
Of course, it was my absolute pleasure. And thank you so much, Sue and Erin and Unite for her for this incredible opportunity. It was really, really,
Yeah.
it was
Our
fun,
pleasure.
fun conversation. And yeah,
Informative. I
Yeah,
know.
looking forward to
Thank
collaborating
you.
further in the future.
Definitely.
perfect.
Thank you. Take
All
care.
righty. Great
We are better
segment.
together, I tell you. Wow.
Yeah, so much to offer. And it
Yeah,
is key that we know all these new areas because they can piggyback on our passport and continue to get services that just extend all of these free resources to our community.
absolutely.
So really
Yeah.
great.
And I mean, our dietitian team, as we connect with our members and these come up, I've had
Yeah,
several
yeah,
meetings today already with our ovarian community. It's good to know these resources so I can say, hey, go over to OCRA because they are offering all of
yeah,
this as well. So I love this.
yeah. It was terrific. Great segment.
Hmm.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you for organizing.
Oh, yeah,
Wonderful.
love our partners, love our
Yeah,
especially our ovarian partners, gyn community, love that. So,
yeah.
what a great way to wrap up September. Again, like Sue mentioned, we have more to look forward to. So quickly, as a recap, coming up Monday, October 6th, we have a speaker series, 6 p.m. Eastern time. We have The Choice to Stay Flat, Medical Insights and Patient Perspectives with Breast Cancer. So we've got a panel joining us that evening discussing that decision, varying, impacts to a person's day-to-day, sharing that patient experience. So really thoughtful discussion. We're looking forward to that. And then later on that week on Wednesday, we have our virtual hangout at 5 p.m. That's October 8th. And we'll be talking all about keeping your crown, hair preservation strategies during cancer treatment, scalp cooling, and cold capping. So what's the difference? How do you get access to it? We know that, this is a big challenge for so many of our members and very emotionally provoking. So
Yeah.
anything we can do to preserve that part of a person's identity, we're glad we have those options available. So join us, plus so much more coming. Stay tuned in our newsletter and on our social feed for all of our activities to look forward to. And of course, just like today, you can view all of our segments on our UFH Connect library at uniteforher.org/UFH Connect.
Perfect. And then one last thank you to our sponsors. We are very appreciative of all that they do for us. Again, bringing all of these wonderful resources and top of mind breakthroughs and just the experts in the field that can really help us navigate a very challenging cancer field. So thank you to all of those that are presenting sponsors, which is West, Merck, Lilly, Novartis, and Gilead, and support from our gold sponsors, Pfizer, GSK, and Daiichi Sankyo. And then our supporting sponsors are AbbVie, TerraSera Therapeutics, and Veristem Oncology. Can't do what we do without them.
Certainly not.
We're together
Absolutely.
there too, right?
You got it. You got
Yeah.
it. Wonderful.
All
Well,
right,
hey,
Erin,
Sue,
well, thank
thanks for
you.
hanging out.
You
Yeah,
got it.
wonderful.
Yeah. Happy Thursday.
Happy
Yeah.
Thursday. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Sarah, for being with us today.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, and we hope everyone has a great rest of your afternoon.